So good morning, welcome, welcome. If for those of you online, if you have a belt or a strap or whatever, anything works, grab that please. And we aren't going to use the blocks too much today, but maybe a little bit. Oh, Nancy, did you get on again? No. Hopefully she'll jump back on. She was on and now she's off again, so. But we'll get started. So I kind of brought out this book that I've gone over before. It's entitled If Life is a Game, These Are the Rules. Good morning, who's there?
Huge.
Okay, anyway, this book, some of you have seen this before, but I always think it's good to revisit it because for me, it just kind of hits the nail on the head for a lot of things that I need to hear over and over again. Oh, it's Helen. Hi. So my mom gave me this book in 1998. And I promptly looked at it and said, oh, that's nice, and put it on the shelf and didn't read it. And then, of course, she passed away in 2000. And about 10 years later, I pulled it out and read it. And it's like, wow, this is pretty nice. I really like this book. And so the rules are 10 rules for being human. And I think it's just mind-boggling, some of the things that she comes up with. She is a PhD, Sherry Carter Scott. And you'll see this first one is particularly appropriate for these times right now because of all these trans people and people that aren't comfortable in their bodies right now. And so I think it's really important. But so rule number 1 is you will receive a body. The moment you arrived here on earth, you were given a body in which to house your spiritual essence. The real you is stored inside this body. All the hopes, dreams, fears, thoughts, expectations, and beliefs that make you the unique human that you are. Though you will travel through your entire lifetime together, you and your body will always remain two separate and distinct entities. So the purpose of this body is to act as the buffer between you and the outside world and to transport you through this game we call life. It also acts as a teacher of some of the initial and fundamental lessons about being human. If you are open to all the lessons and gifts your body has to offer you, it can impart to you valuable bits of wisdom and grace that will guide you along your path of spiritual evolution. It can provide you with a basic knowledge and understanding you will need to be grounded within it before you can progress onward on your journey. The body you are given will be yours for the duration of your lifetime here. Love it or hate it, accept it or reject it, the only one you will receive in this lifetime. It will be with you from the moment you draw your first breath to the last beat of your heart. Since there is a no refund, no exchange policy on this body of yours, it is essential that you learn to transform your body from a mere vessel into a beloved partner or lifelong ally, as the relationship between you and your body is the most fundamental and important relationship of your lifetime. It is the blueprint from which all of your other relationships will be built. So the challenge of rule 1 is to make peace with your body so that it can effectively serve its purpose and share its valuable lessons of acceptance, self-esteem, respect, and pleasure. Everyone must learn these basic principles before he or she is able to journey successfully through life. So, yeah. So it seems basic, right? But it's so true if you think about it. You have to be accepting. And it is the basis for all other relationships. So think about that. Close your eyes. And as you notice your breath moving in and out, feel yourself within your body. If there's certain parts that are screaming for your attention, just notice that. Send them a little love with your breath. I think we all have parts that we aren't accepting of, even though we may think we're accepting of our whole body. Sometimes there's parts that we don't accept. I know for me, as I've gotten older, maybe I don't accept my new older body as well as I did my younger body. Sometimes those parts that maybe aren't what they used to be are the greatest teachers for us at this point. Let's bring hands to heart center. May we all be accepting of our bodies as they are today. They've gotten us this far in our lives. They're the only means by which we can experience the beauty and the grace that's here on this planet. Please lower your hands, open your eyes. Go ahead and have your belt. I'm going to have you start on your backs. So lay on your backs, but just have your belt handy because we're going to use it in a minute. And sit with your knees bent, feet flat. And just check in with your body in this position. And then just hug your right knee in. Gonna move it around a little bit. I like to put a little pressure down into the hip socket. Keep a nice long spine. I'm not going to give a lot of alignment instructions today. I just want you to move where it feels like good movement to you. You can extend your left leg. Make sure you have a little curve in your low back so your knee might come away from you a little bit. Keep grounding it into the socket. And then grab your belt and just bring it over the arch of your foot and kind of back towards your heel a little bit. You might have to bend your knee because we haven't worked on hamstrings yet. It's okay. And grab it with your right hand so that your arm is full length. And just bring your left arm out to the side and just put a little pressure down, maybe make a small circle, feeling out your hamstrings, just like you were doing. And then slowly bring it off to the right side, but only so far as your left thigh and your left arm and shoulder can stay down. So it's, and then make maybe a little movement there, a few circles, and feel all the different muscle fibers, ligaments in the hip, inner thigh. And then bring it up to center, switch hands, bring the right arm out to the side, and you won't go as far. I want you to keep your right hip down. And then little movements. Sometimes this one feels really a little achy. Few movements. Oh, yeah. And then release the belt from that foot. Keep your right foot or right knee bent, foot flat, and hug your left knee in. Little movements. Good, maybe extend your right leg if that feels okay. I'd have to move the knee away from you a little bit to keep the curve in your low back. Just draw your low belly up, lengthen your spine. Press down through the knee, just give a little pressure into your hip socket. Feels so good to be grounded like that. And then you can grab your belt and bring it in that arch. Hold it with your left hand, right arm out to the side to start. Just kind of playing with the foot straight up, moving it maybe in a little circle, really activating your foot. And then you can keep the right side grounded as you bring that left foot off to the side. You really have to engage your core as you do this to keep things stable. And then you can make small circles or whatever it is to feel all the different muscle fibers. A little stretch. And then bringing the foot up, switching hands. A little stretch on the outer thigh. Keep the left hip grounded. This one feels a little achy. Nobody's groaning in here, but oh, sometimes it does. Good, and then release the belt. You can set that off to the side. We're done with it. Hug your knees in towards your chest. And if you move the knees side to side, feel a little different stretch. I feel it actually in my hip flexor more than anywhere. But everybody's body is different, so you have to decide what feels good. And then go ahead and roll all the way to the right side and come on up to all fours position. And go ahead and extend the right leg long, come on the ball of your foot and just stretch through the calf, but hopefully you can feel it in your hamstring as well. And then lift the heel super high and stretch again, just a couple times. You can feel the muscles around your kneecap engaged a little bit when you lift the heel high. Good, and then pick the foot up, bring it off to the left side. And see if you can keep the hips square to the floor and to the front. Keep a long spine and then twist and look at it. You'll feel it in your hips. Lots of different places. Good, and then pick that foot up, bring it off to the right side. So it's parallel with your knee. And then just kind of move around a little bit there. Move forward and back, side to side, just noticing all the different muscles you can. There's so many different muscles and ligaments in the hip area. That's why we work on hips so much in yoga. We want to be able to move, right? Good, and then this is kind of an awkward transition, but you're just going to bring that foot forward. Turn this way. So you're in Anjane position. I have to move the knee back a little bit. Think press knee and heel towards each other. Right foot pressing down. Keep the left hand grounded. Reach the right hand forward and then up and twist. Notice the feeling in your left hip flexor, right hip crease, gaze back. Good. You okay? Good, and then touch down. You can use blocks under your hands too, and step back to all fours again, and we'll just repeat that whole sequence on the other side. So left foot straight back. Lift the heel high and stretch. One more time, lift the heel high and stretch. Pick it up, bring it off to the right side. Nice long spine, head in line with your spine, twist and look at it. And then pick it up, bring it all the way off to the left side. I'm always working on engaging my foot and my leg, because then I isolate the stretch to where I want it to be. Good, and then bringing it forward to that Anjane position, monkey lunge position. Stretching out the hip flexor. Keep your right hand down, left arm reaches forward and then up and open up. Little twist. Beautiful, you guys. And touch down. Good. Step back to all fours. And we're going to lift the right knee up to the side like your dog. And there's a fire hydrant there. And then just make circles. Try and keep a long spine. It might be closer to the floor for you. It doesn't matter what it is. Good, and then extend the leg straight back, keep the hips square, and extend the left arm. So right leg and left arm. Good, bring the knee down now and thread the needle. Thread the left arm underneath. Little twist. Couple breaths. You always have to honor what your body is telling you. To have a good relationship, you have to listen to what it tells you, right? And then come on up. And we'll move to the left side. So whatever movement feels good to you, you can make a circle. You can just move it up and down. Feel like keep the core really engaged. And then extend it straight back. Your hips have to stay square. Your spine nice and long. And add the right arm. Good. Bring the knee down and thread the right arm under the left. Every day is different with my body. It talks to me in different ways. Very good. Come on up to all fours and lower to your elbows. So your elbows are just slightly in front of your shoulders. Press your forearms and your hands down. And we're going to do cat-cow in this position. So it's going to feel weird because you're in a different position. So start with cow. Just take your time. And move to cat. Start with the tail. I always start with the tail. I don't know why. You can do it however you want today, though. And if you want to add extra movements, okay. And just keep going. Everything. Waken everything up in the back, in the spine. Good, and then pause. Stretch your right foot back and then your left foot and come to plank pose on your elbows. Elbow plank. Think really strong, moving the clavicles apart, pressing the elbows, the forearms, the hands down, lengthening your spine. It's going to get you warmed up. Press your hands down more. Broaden your clavicles. Good, and then lower your knees. Get you warmed up, didn't I? Now curl your toes under. Lift your knees. Keep the knees bent. Think my shoulder girdle has to stay super strong. And then you can see about lengthening the legs to dolphin pose. Yeah, it's deep and it's okay. Keep the knees bent. Broaden the shoulder blades. Broaden the clavicles, but keep the shoulders on the back. Good. Lower your knees. Widen them a bit. Stretch back to child's pose. Hopefully your body talks to you in a different way when you come to a resting pose. But you're still staying present with your body. That's your goal for being here today, is to really learn more about yourself, your body, and your relationship with the rest of you. Good. Plant your hands. Make your way to downward facing dog. And just take your time. You can move any way you want. You can swivel heels. You can pedal. And then pause. Feel really strong. bend your right leg. So you're going to bend your right knee and bring it up and make a circle, just like you did on all fours. It's harder in down dog. And you can even move it across and wrap it around your other leg, whatever. Just to kind of feel that hip, feel your spine super engaged. Good. And then keeping the knee bent, come forward to plank, round and bring knee towards nose. And then set the knee down right under your hip. Swivel the foot to the right, ground the left heel down, and open up to a side plank variation. Feel length in both sides of your body. Nice, you guys. And then come on back down. Make your way to downward facing dog. Notice where your weight is in your hands. Bend the left knee and make some movements. You can make a circle. Bring it behind you. Wrap it around your other leg, whatever feels good. And then squaring up, come forward, round, knee towards nose. Pause for a second. Good, and then set that knee down. Swivel the left foot to the left, ground the right foot, and stretch up. You know, come on down to all fours. And step your right foot forward. If you want to use blocks under your hands, you can. Anjane position again and stretch up Anjane Asana. Good. Bring the left hand down, little twist again. And then sweep the right hand forward, bring it to the inside of your right foot and just move, kind of step your right foot off to the side and turn the toes out so the toes and the kneecap point the same direction. Now staying up on your hands, hug knee to heel, heel to knee, so the hips stay square. Really engage all four corners of your right foot. And then see, maybe the inner edge can lift and your right knee can widen off to the right. But keep your spine nice and long. Oh yeah, that's deep. And then if you're really feeling ambitious, you want to stretch further, you can come down to your elbows. You can use your blocks under your elbows too. Oh, that's a deep one. Different muscle fibers than some of the other stretches. One more breath. And come on back up. Sit back. Pause for a moment and then switch. So left foot forward. Hug to the midline. Take your time stretching up. Hips stay square, nice long spine. Anjane Asana. Good. Right hand comes down to the block or to the floor and open up for that little twist. And then bring the left hand to the inside. Wiggle the left foot out. One side always feels different than the other too. So just notice that. Think, oh, my body's telling me more. Keep all four corners of foot engaged. Maybe broaden the knee out to the left. And then you decide if you want to come down to the elbows or to the blocks. Humble pose variation. Keep the feet super active. I always hug my knee and my heel towards each other so I'm not dumping too deeply into that hip. Keep long, engaged spine. And then come on back up and step back. All fours. Take one more little child's pose. Hopefully feel a little more open in your hips in this position. Good. And then come forward and come all the way up to downward facing dog. And step your feet towards your hands, come to a forward fold. Feet hip distance apart, active arches, maybe a little bend in the knees, you decide. And see what happens. Can you grab your elbows and just kind of swing side to side so that you can feel it mostly in your hips. That's the goal today. Maybe sway forward and back on the feet. Don't lift anything. Just feel all parts of the legs active. Good, and then bend your knees, bring your hands on your knees, and make your way to a chair pose. Hands to heart center. You can lift and lower a little bit, just noticing the hips. I notice in my glutes a lot in this position. Good, and then press into your feet and stand up. Good, now release your hands. I like to bring them to the sides. Actually, I'm going to have you grab your blocks and bring them in front of you. Because this, yeah, in case you need them. Turn like this, see. Sometimes I need these blocks. And then bend both knees a little bit. Shift your weight to your right foot and bring your left ankle across. And then if you need the blocks, they're there to touch down. This is a hip opener. Really feel your foot engaged. And if you want to, bring hands to heart center. Couple breaths. And release. Ooh, good job. Yeah, and like Helen, she went towards the wall. That's perfect too, because sometimes the blocks are a little too far down there. So bend your knees a little bit. Shift your weight to the left foot. Bring the right ankle across, and see how active you can keep your lifted foot, so that you can really work on the hip. And you don't affect the knee. One more breath. And come on out. Good job. she's amazed by her balance. Okay, now standing in Tadasana, shift your weight to your right foot again. I like to bring my hands out to the side and just lift the left foot. And feel that. Bring the foot down, shift to the other side, and lift the right knee. Feel all the little adjustments that your body makes. You need to touch down a few times, it's okay. And release it. Okay, coming back, watch me first. So coming back to the first side, you're gonna lift the knee, see if you can find balance. This is my special side because of my ankle. I'm gonna bring hands to heart center. I'm gonna slowly bring the foot back as I lean forward to warrior three. Now you don't have to pause in warrior three if you don't want to. Your blocks are there if you need them, and then you're gonna step back, crescent warrior. Okay, And sometimes I like to, when I'm stepping back, I need to bend my knee, and then I might have to touch down and take lots of steps to get where I want to. So I want you to feel balanced. I don't want you to fall out of it, okay? So stand on your right foot, lift your left knee, and then slowly start to bring it back. As you do, bring hands to heart center. I think it helps center you a little bit. You can pause in warrior three if you want. And then maybe bring hands to right thigh as you bend the knee and step back. And then you can help yourself come upright to crescent. Yeah, it's a hard transition. And then stretch up, warrior. Now know that your blocks are there, so if on the other side you want to, you can grab the blocks and use them in the transition. Ground the left foot down, open up to warrior two. Are you okay, Helen? Struggling today. She's listening to her body. Bend your left knee a little bit and just kind of feel yourself really engaged in the legs. And then bring your left elbow on top of your right elbow and just hug your shoulders with your arms. Good. Now keep that. I'm just going to have you do a little circle. So lean forward. And you don't have to make it a big circle. Lean back and back up. Just do that a couple more times. Kind of warms up your shoulders along with your hips and your legs. Good. And then next time you're upright, extend your arms again, warrior two. That's it. Straighten your front leg. Turn the right foot towards the wall. And then hands to the knees, fold forward. Maybe you can bring the hands all the way to the floor. Maybe you just use your blocks there. I don't know. Yeah. And just kind of pause in Prasarita Padottanasana. Wide-legged forward fold. Again, try and lift the arches. Both you have several arches on your foot. So the big one that we all think of is on the inside. There's actually an arch on the outside as well. If you use all parts of your feet, you'll feel it more. Good. Now come up like a pranam and listen carefully. You're going to turn your left foot out and walk your hands towards your left foot till you're facing the back of the room. Turn the right heel up. Deep lunge position. Good. Use your blocks if you need to. And then sweep your left arm up and open up for deep lunge twist. Good. And then touch down and step forward. Uttanasana, facing the back. Woohoo! I get to look at your butt this time. Good. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands through heart center. So we're going to repeat that sequence on the other side. So if you want your blocks, you can grab them. Shift your weight to your left foot. Lift the right knee. And then hands to heart center as you move back. You might pause in warrior three. Your choice. I like to bend my left knee, hands to the knee to step the right foot back and come to warrior or crescent warrior. Yeah, sometimes it takes a little hopping around to find the right position for your feet because it was a weird transition. Good, ground the back foot down so the right foot grounds down. Come to warrior two. Now this time the right elbow stacks on top of the left. Hug. And make some circles. round it through the feet. And the next time you're upright, stretch back to warrior two. Take a couple breaths, notice, straighten the front leg, turn the left foot forward, and fold into that Prasarita position. Come up like a pranam. Walk your hands to the right as you turn the right foot out, turn the left heel up, deep lunge position. I guess I forgot this. No, I didn't. Sweep the right arm up and open up. Feel like it's a hip opener on the right hip. Deep lunge twist. Good, and touch the hand down. Please step forward. Forward fold. Inhale, pranam. Exhale, fold. And sweep and rise all the way up. Hands to heart center. Good, now we're gonna repeat that, only I might add in a few more things just for fun. So we're not done with the balance part yet. So just keep working on that. I think when you bend, if you bring your hands to your thigh, sometimes it helps. And then you can step back. You guys are doing great with it, but and if you need to go like that, who cares? That's what your body needs right now. Okay, so stand on your right foot, bring your left foot up, left knee up. When you're ready to transition, move the foot back. I like hands to heart center. If you want to pause in warrior three, you can. And then bend the right knee, hands to the thigh, step it back. Make sure you're stable. Your feet are where you want them. Stretch up, crescent warrior. Ground the back foot down, warrior two. Check your alignment. Good, stack left elbow on right. This time, if you want to wrap full Garudasana arms, you can. Or you can just hug your shoulders again. And then make one circle. Feels kind of like reverse warrior, but you're warming up your shoulders as well. Stretch the arms back to warrior two. Straighten the front leg. We're going to triangle pose. So think of it as a hip opener, really strong in your core. And then when you fold, you're just opening hip. You can bring hand to shin, or to block, or to floor, depending on how you're feeling today. Gorgeous, you guys. Really nice. Okay. Yes. And then come on back up. Turn the right foot in. Fold forward. Prasarita. Couple breaths. Come up like a pranam. This time, just swivel the heels in so the kneecaps and toes point the same direction. And then you can bend into one knee and the other. You can just stay there on your hands. Or if you want to, you can bring your torso upright, hands to heart center, and keep doing that. Just ask your body what it wants. Crack, crack. Is that your knee? Oh, good. Wow. And then fold forward again. Straighten out your feet. So you can fold a little deeper, just feel how much more open your hips are. And then come up like a pranam, walk your hands towards your left foot, turn the right heel up, deep lunge. Right hand stays down, the left arm sweeps up and open. And please touch down and step forward, Uttanasana. Waiting for your next breath. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands through heart center. Standing on your left foot, lift your right knee. Find a spot to focus your eyes. It helps. Hands to heart center as you move the foot back. You can pause in warrior three if you'd like. You take whatever steps you need to step back to crescent warrior. And then stretch your arms up. You want to try this, bend your right knee and think, okay, keep a curve in the low back, but draw the rib cage back. So my hips stay square and then re-straighten the leg. Ooh, good. Ground the back foot down. Warrior two. Right elbow on top of left. Garudasana arms if you'd like. You feel a stretch in the back. And then one big circle. Just kind of noticing your hips, everything stretches. Back to warrior two. Straighten the front leg. Triangle pose. Take your time. I still keep a curve in my low back. Really nice, everybody. You're doing it too. The hard part is coming back up, pressing your feet really long spine. Good, turn the left foot forward. Fold into Prasarita. Stick out your head if you'd like. Take your time. And then come up like a pranam. Swivel your heels in. Make your way. You can either just stay here, just feel out, bend in your knees, or you can come up to goddess position. I don't know if that's a good thing. That little click. We all have, that's her body talking to her loudly. Yeah. Everybody hears you, Julie. Good. One more time each side. And then come back to the forward fold. You have to straighten your feet out to really feel like you're grounded through all parts of the feet. And then come back to that pranam position. Walk your hands towards your right foot. You're facing back front. Left heel comes up. Sweep the arm, right arm up and open. Right hip crease stays back. And please touch down. This time step back to down dog. And we haven't done this yet, but we're going to come forward to plank. Lower to the mat. Cobra when you're ready. So inhale to cobra, exhale down. And do that 2 more times, just lengthening out your spine, feeling like you're not scooping your tailbone, you're really just lengthening your spine. Inhale, lift. Exhale down. Good, and then push back to all fours. Now we're going to pigeon press. So some of you might, if you have knee issues, you want to do it on your back. If you don't, I like to get into it from down dog, but if you like it from all fours, I'm just going to have you bring your right knee up behind your right wrist or even to the outside of your right wrist. Your foot comes towards the middle. Keep a really active foot. So your right foot's super active. Think of your right inner thigh as moving back and broadening. So your hips stay square, you're not scrunching the sides of your body. And then see, maybe you can come down to your elbows and just do what you want to interlace behind your thigh, Helen, you can, or just do that. Yeah, whatever feels good for your knee. Some of you at home have knee issues too. Just look back at your left foot. Is it straight back? If it is, you're probably keeping your left hip square. Sometimes mine gets off to the left side. I don't know why. I like to not just dump into this. So I'm hugging my knee towards my knee to keep my hips square and keep thinking that right inner thigh moves back and wide. Okay, now if you want a little more stretch, just swivel your left forearm in, bring your right hand to your knee, and then twist to your right a little bit. Keep left hip crease moving back. Good. And then unwind. Come out however you can to switch sides. So if it's a down dog, do that. All fours, do that. So left knee. I like it to the outside of my left wrist now, actually, because it helps me stay square to the front more. Just set up, don't dump into it. I have to draw my low belly up. I keep the sit bones back. I lengthen my spine, and then maybe I'll come to my elbows. Think left inner thigh, moving back and wide. That's what we're stretching. You'll feel it in your glutes. You'll feel it all around your hip, right? Take a few breaths. I always say that you have to stay in a pose at least 90 seconds to get any benefit. But you have to be mindful and keep your thoughts on the best stretch for your body. Good. If you want that increased stretch, swivel your right forearm in, left hand to the knee. Don't lose anything else, then twist. Good. And then release. Step back, down dog. And then lower to your knees. And I'm going to have you have a block handy by you and your blanket, just in case, one or the other. And then stretch your feet long and sit back on your heels for a moment. Helen's ready for Shavasana. We're getting there, girl. Okay, now watch me. This is, we're going to do a little twist. But I want you to stay high enough that you can feel both sits bones grounded. And I think this is kind of an awkward position. So I like to get a little higher. So I'm actually going to use my blanket. It seems like if I use my blanket and I fold it so it's a little higher, that works best for me. So I'm going to just watch me first. I'm going to swivel both feet to the side. And the one foot that's on top is kind of in the arch of the other foot. And then I'm going to bring this underneath and sit on it. Ah, that feels good. So try it. Come on up. Swivel your feet to the right side. Your right foot will be on top so right foot will be on top of the arch, yep. And then sit either on the blanket or the block. And if you have a lot of flexibility, maybe you can just sit on the floor, yeah. Oh, yeah. And if you're high enough, you might have to have a block under your left hand. And then just kind of think, oh, I'm sitting there. I'm sexy. I'm tall. Good. And then bring your left hand or your right hand across. Your left hand supports you and do a little twist with all that length. This is called Bharadvajasana. Interesting position. A little bit harder twist than some of the others. Especially feel your right sit bones kind of helping to ground you. Good, and then unwind, come forward and just swivel your feet to the other side, the knee closest. So it'll be your left foot on top of your right this time. And like I said, sometimes one side feels way different than the other. So just notice that. On this side. My knees come apart a little bit. Nice and tall. And then reach across. That nice long, I'm drawing my low belly up. I'm keeping the sit bones back. And then I twist with all that length. Good, and then unwind. Okay, now just bring your feet forward. I'm going to have you continue to sit on a blanket or even a block if you're really tight in your hamstrings. Okay, this is a deep hip opener, so you may not look quite like probably Jeanette has open hips. Some people this is really easy for me it is not. So I'm going to have you reach across, grab your right ankle, and then just bring that shin parallel or almost parallel so that the heel and the hip are kind of lined up. And then you'll grab the other one and you'll decide, maybe you're just going to cross your shins like this. Maybe you're going to bring this on top of the shin, or if you're really open, maybe you bring the ankle across. I want you to feel like it's a good stretch for you. Okay, all of you look pretty comfortable. Oh, that's a good idea. Mary has a block under her knee. That's a good one. But that's perfect, Helen, just like you are. Yeah, I think that's perfect. Keep your feet active. I like to bring my hands under my shin so then I can lengthen up and work on broadening that knee. But you have to keep your foot really active. Yeah, and then some of you are so comfortable in this fire log position, maybe you can fold forward a little bit. It's really intense for me. This is my special side. Whew. And those of us that are super tight, be really mindful. And then come on back up. Susan, is this still your favorite pose? Because it is mine. Okay, you're going to slide your underneath heel a little closer and then bring the edge of your foot into your hip crease for half lotus. Whoa. See how easy it is once you did that work? Yeah. I just wanted to show you that. Okay, now unwind. And we'll switch sides. So bring your left across. The more parallel the shin, the more stretch you'll get. So if you want less stretch, you can bring it back. And the other foot, wherever it works for you. This side's easier for me. But I still like that little stretch where I pull up, and then it feels really good on my knee, and I can lengthen up and then maybe fold. You decide. My body talks to me in this pose a lot. Called Agni Sambhasana, which means fire log pose. So it's like you're stacking fire logs on top of each other. You look pretty darn comfortable there. Oh, yeah. Good, and then if you want to try that half lotus, come on up. Slide the heel closer. The goal is to have your both knees come down. So that's why you have to get that foot out of the way. But if you have knee issues, yeah, I wouldn't push it. Yeah, that's the goal. Because if you wanted to come to full lotus, if some of you want to try it, my ankle always pops out. Yeah. I'm pretty amazed that I did it. Yeah, so that one comes on top into the hip crease. Yeah. Woo. Really? She got her hip open enough today. Good. And then slide out. I have to be really careful because I can pop my ankle out. And come on down to your back. Dim these lights a little bit. That feels good, doesn't it? Yeah, I know. It's kind of fun when you've worked on your hips that much to just see how far you've come. Actually, I'm going to turn them off. There's still enough light. Pretty toes, Mary. Good. On your backs, just notice what your body's saying, and hopefully it's saying, you did something good for me. I hope it is. And then bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees open. Oh gosh. Just for a moment. And bringing the knees up, bring the feet to the edge of the sticky mat with your knees up. Allow your left knee to come towards your right ankle. Keep the left hip grounded. You'll feel a little stretch. It's like you're releasing something. Right knee stays up. Yeah, that feel good. And then switch. So left knee stays up, right knee comes down. Right hip stays square and wide. And then coming back up, just stretch out for Shavasana. Ask yourself what you learned about your physical body at this point in time. Today, as you move through poses. For me, every day is different. excuse me, sorry. Just a couple more thoughts from my book. If life is a game, these are the rules. And rule number 1, you will receive a body. If you are one of the rare and fortunate people who already experience your body as perfect, exactly as it is, with all its foibles and strengths, then you have already embraced the lesson of acceptance and can fast forward to the next lesson. However, if any small part of you believes that you would be happier if you were thinner, taller, larger, firmer, blonder, stronger, younger, or some other physical alteration you think would magically transform your life for the better, then you might want to spend some time learning about the value of true acceptance. Acceptance is the act of embracing what life presents to you with a good attitude. Our bodies are among the most willing and wise teachers of this lesson. Unless you spend a large percentage of your time engaged in out-of-body experiences, your body shows up wherever you are. It can be like an ever-present benevolent guide or a lifelong cross you bear. The decision is yours based on how well you learn this lesson. For many people, their body is the target for their harshest judgments and the barometer by which they measure their self-worth. They hold themselves up to an unattainable standard and berate themselves for coming up short of perfection. Since your physical shape is the form in which you show up in the world, it is very often the way you define yourself and often the way others define you. The way you view your body is directly related to how close you are to learning the lesson of acceptance. Does this mean that you should never endeavor to improve your body, or that you have to be resigned to what you have been given? Of course not. It is perfectly natural and human to want to be at your physical best. What this does mean, however, is that you need to stop criticizing, judging, or finding fault with your body, even when you are not at your healthiest or most attractive. I can't see, turn the light too low, turn on my flashlight. This drive for self-improvement is completely healthy as long as it comes from a place of self-love rather than a feeling of inadequacy. The question to ask yourself when you want to be sure of the source of your desire for a new hairstyle or a more sculpted biceps is, do I feel like I need this new body shape or hair color, wrinkle cream, wardrobe to make me happy? If the answer is yes, and be honest with yourself, you might want to spend some time working internally on the lesson of self-acceptance before you spend time and money searching for an external solution. Love all the parts of yourself. And if you can't love them, change them. If you can't change them, then accept them as they are. As you grow in age, your body will present you with some very challenging things that you simply cannot change. At the extreme end of the spectrum, you may be afflicted with a physical disability or a debilitating disease or some other physical ailment that makes your body that much harder to accept. But still accept it, you must, no matter how insurmountable the task may seem. Acceptance or rejection of your body only carries weight in your mind. Your perception has no bearing on how your body actually looks. So why not choose the ease of acceptance rather than the pain of rejection? The choice is yours. What are you not accepting? about your body. Again, just feel the breath moving in and out. How your body moves with each breath. When you're ready, start to stretch and wiggle in small ways. And just like we did at the start of class, hug your knees in. Kind of move in any way that feels good to feel a few things. And please roll to the right side when you're ready. Take your time. And push on up to seated. Just bring hands to heart center. I want you to know that I accept each of you just the way you are. And you should too. I bow to the beauty and the light within each of you. Namaste. Thanks, guys. Have a fabulous weekend, everybody at home and here. Thanks for being with me.
Thanks, Lisa.
Bye. Have a great
Good
weekend.
weekend.
Thanks, Lisa. Talk to you later.
Okay, bye now.